Hello, everyone. Um, hey, I have been dying and dying to come here. I think some of you might have seen my post. I met Christina finally in person last week, and in Las Vegas. We had this great event. We're all like pumped up, right? And I know Abby, dear Abby. I hope you see this later. I think she was like sharing all the golden nuggets and everything. So there was just so much happening in there. But I wanted you, like everyone, to really like. I wish we could kind of take all that motivation, bring it here, and kind of like run it all through, right? Like we're just like so excited. So I'm hoping that like you can see me and everything. I am doing the stream that I have been like really. I know Chrome has some problems and everything. So if you can hear me, hopefully like even later, please just leave a comment and just so like I know that you're here. I would really like to see that. So what I wanted to just like I wanted to talk about like a lot of the problems that we're running as a ADHD business owner, right? Like we talk about, okay, like I have like so many tech stuff that I'm doing right now. Okay, where is my team? Okay, we're here we are. So like what I wanted to just say is we all have lives, right? Like I was just I had to like literally just 5 minutes ago, my husband has to take my son to dermatologist, and of course, both my children have ADHD, and my husband has it. And then I'm like, "Honey, like I'm about to go in a live, right?" Like, and then he's like, "Oh, like where is the doctor's like address?" I'm like, "Oh my God, just don't do this to me." So like I had to like write it down and everything. So we have. I always say I have two children and a husband, right? Like we have the third one. It's just like we're all talking about business. We're all talking about really like being better, right? Like we're getting somewhere in life, and um, but then all this stuff is happening. We have all the marketing, like the motivation, like funnels, sales, like all of those things. But then the real life happens, and like you have to like stop somewhere, and that's where I was like years ago. Oh God, like I I think it was like 9 years ago that I was diagnosed with ADHD. My dear sister-in-law is a famous psychiatrist in New York, and one day, like at the time, I'm running like four businesses, right? Of course, we are like serial entrepreneurs. We have all these ideas, and I had to do all of them. And then the kids were like, so Kyra was actually a baby. She, like at the time, she was like she was really like a baby. I don't think she was even a year old. And then so my son was little, and so I had like all the things that I'm juggling, and then I was so burnt out, so burnt out. I'm like, oh my God, like I did this, I did this, I did this. I've got an MBA in business. Like I have all of these things. Like, how come that we're not reaching, like we're not like living our full potential, right? It's just I don't understand when I just see this every day. I don't know, does this happen to you, right? Like you see this young kid who knows maybe 10% of what you know, but then they're like everywhere. They're like live here and YouTube and TikTok and this and that, and all of a sudden they've got like all of these followers. I think Christina, like if you watch this later, Christina and I were like in this event. There was this young girl, and I don't know, I think she's in the group too. Like she was so beautiful. Like you just wanted to look at her, right? And then she's young and ambitious. Like she already had a group running. She already had a business running. So she's doing all of these things. But like when you have ADHD, this is what happens. Like you are brilliant. Like you've got this genius. There's this nonstop motor, like kind of going behind your brain. Um, Sometimes my husband like teases me, says like, "Well, I can literally hear the hard drive, like we're like sitting and like watching a movie or something." And then he's like, I can literally hear your brain like working like crazy. So like these are the curses that we have. So back then when I was diagnosed and like all that mess was happening, I was missing my kid's life and like it, all the businesses I had in the past, they all were wonderful, wonderful ideas. And I mean, like if any of you, like whether you're watching this now or later, like if you resonate, we have all of these like brilliant, brilliant ideas. But this is where the entire thing started turning for me. And I want to share those with you because I think if you're a mom, if you have a lot of responsibilities, if you're like juggling to get your business going, get your life going, I have to say. And at some point, like if you want to really experience like true freedom, like there are simple things that I had to do, and then there's no magic pill. I'm sorry, I don't have one, but there are three things which like small hinges that swings big doors, right? So those are the things that I slowly introduced and started doing like on a daily basis. And because of the whole ADHD thing, we thrive on dopamine, right? Like we need quick wins. That's why we can't be consistent, right? Like I'm going to ask everyone who's watching this. I've literally made a commitment that I'm going to come to this group and do a live and talk to you guys and like give all the golden nuggets that I have. Whatever I have, I'm just going to give it to you because this is me taking like imperfect action, and this is me like doing things that I'm always telling other people to do. But I wanted to share especially those three things that were like real turning point for me. So what was my biggest problem, right? Like what was my biggest problem? Like let's go like with the all the problems we had. And tell me if you resonate this, but it's like every day goes by and then day starts, day ends, week starts, week ends, month start, month end. Like I'm always busy. I'm always busy, right? So like 8, 9 years ago, all I had was to-do lists, which has nothing. It's just another way of procrastination now, I'm finding out, right? So we have all of these things that we have, like when we get excited, like we get really motivated and like we want to do this thing, right? But then we don't. So because and even if you have all the good intentions, like if you're running a business and if you're wearing all the hats yourself, and like and the other things like you don't want to delegate because nobody is as smart as you are, and nobody does it as perfect as you do, right? So you don't want to delegate. So you're like literally running everything, and you end up being the business. Like you are the business. If you don't show up, you have no money. Literally, like if you don't show up, if you don't lounge, if you don't go and dance on social media, like if you don't do those things, then you don't exist, right? So you are juggling all of these things. Like I don't know, if you're a coach, you're doing your coaching thing, consulting thing, like social media management, like whatever it is. Like you have all these, and especially at the beginning, most of us have these like one-on-one clients, right? Like one-on-ones are awesome. That's how I started. I think they are your biggest like market research. They're the ones who's going to honestly give you the results and everything, right? But like then you have all of those, but it takes a lot of time and energy to deal with a person like one-on-one. And then the third thing is like you probably have, because of your ADHD, like it's like all of the ideas you're putting here and there and here and there, and then it's like it's not really I call it like these different buckets, right? So you have these five, let's say five buckets. Like let's say one is your social media, one is your business, like talking to clients or whatever. like the other one is your personal life. So you have all these buckets. But because you're not really doing things consistently and kind of like putting all your effort into one thing, like, yes, you are busy all day, but there's no compounding accumulation that is giving you the results. So it's just really like hard to understand, and then you're like, oh, like, how come I work all the time, I'm doing all of this, and like, how come I'm not getting any results? And that's where I was like 8, 9 years ago. So I'm running this business with my husband, and then I'm also like doing business coaching on the side. Like I am doing all those things together, which is probably like the biggest mistake. Like you don't want to run two, three businesses. And they were like completely like in different areas too, which was again like another mistake I have made. But I wanted to just say, like one of the biggest thing, in fact, like last week I also attended Dan Kennedy's, like the day, I don't know if you are following Dan Kennedy, the marketing legend. And then here he comes and says, well, this is like, here's the biggest thing, right? Like if your business is your deliverables, that is the fastest route to burn out. I'm like, oh my God, I say this all the time. But still, like it hits you like a ton of bricks, right? Like, but what does that really mean? What does like deliverables? So that if you're the one like stocking the shelves, if you're the one like meeting every single client, and if you're the one like delivering also like every product or service, you're the one who is marketing, like all of those things. If you're doing all of that, I mean, it's not a genius thing to figure out. You're going to be burnt out like very, very soon. So you've got to find a way to get yourself out of that. So, but then like at the event, I'm like, oh, Dan, like that's easy for you to say. Well, like, how can we not be in our business? Like, what do you mean? Right? Like, how am I not going to be? And then, but of course, like, and especially like I'm thinking like I have this idea here, I have this shiny object here, like, oh, maybe I want to do like okay, I'm gonna do a virtual summit. Oh, like I'm gonna write a book. And then this week I'm gonna do like this. Like every week we're coming up with all these like brilliant ideas and probably another product that attached to it. And I'm sure they're all brilliant, but like we're not, again, like there's no traction, there's no consistency, and then we're like all over the place. So if any of you like watching this, or if you can see the replay, you can like, I want you to really like jot down. There are like 3 things that I want you to really, really like remember. Like when you feel the burnout, like tomorrow you start your work and you're like talking to someone, and then you're like, oh my God, like I just don't know. I don't know what to do. If you're at that point, like I want you to remember these 3 break-free strategies that helped me get to from like at okay, so at some point we were like completely broke, but I'm not going to do a sad story here. But like from that to now we have over 8-figure in like only in 2 of my businesses created a more than $10 million in business. Like how did I get from there to there is like these 3 strategies. I did it um even when I failed, even when I didn't feel like it, even when I it was all a coach helped me understand all of this, and it was all of these strategies like I can totally give credit to. So number 1 is commit, like commitment, like going all in. um and that's something, it could be a method, a maybe you're following someone online, maybe you have a coach, maybe you don't, but maybe you just have you've heard of this, like one of like a framework, something, whatever it is. Like I want you to go all in, and this is where you turn your ADHD distracted mind into a superpower. And I'll tell you like just a little, like, so I have two ADHD kids, right? But like you can't get them to do something that like when they're not in their environment, right? But then if they're doing something they love, they're there for hours. And how many of you feel that way, right? Like when you like something, when you like a book, you just go like you finish the whole thing. When you like the activity that you are doing, or when you're getting that dopamine hit, like you're getting results, you you just continue to do. So the myth that ADHD mind cannot focus is a total bust. It's busted. Like you can. So find something that you can commit to, like that it resonates with you, like you understand, and then put your blinders on and make yourself a commitment that you're going to say to yourself, okay, for the next 12 months, I'm not trying anything else. I'm going to do just this thing, whatever that is. Okay. Think about how much mental energy that will free up when you stop chasing everything. Just think about like how you're going to wake up tomorrow, and the only thing you have to it's just one thing. And you can still be creative, like you can have all these brilliant like you can all do all that, but it's all around one thing only. And then when you do that, those five buckets become one. So every day, like all those five things that you were doing in it, everybody's got like 24 hours, it all comes and goes into that one thing, and then it starts accumulating, and then you start getting results. That's just super, super important. So number two, this is really important. um I don't know like how many of like I don't know your businesses, and feel free to like tell me about your business. Like, I don't know what you do right now, but I'm pretty sure if you're in business, somehow, somewhere, you've done something that's successful, right? You've gotten a result. I need you to document that. So, what you do is you create your signature recipe. That's number two. That's what really, like, really helped me, because instead of creating 5,000 recipes, like I only did like one signature recipe. And then back then, we had a restaurant. My husband and I owned a restaurant at the time, and then I was creating the menu. And then we were thinking, well, it was a seafood theme, like a fast casual. It was great. But then like every day, I was there in that kitchen, right? Like I'm doing, because if I'm not there, the staff, like even the chef, like they just couldn't do the same recipe. So what happened? I had to be there in that kitchen every day, every single day. Like I couldn't even go to the office. In fact, for like a whole year, we couldn't grow our business because I was in the kitchen. I was not where I was supposed to be. Like I wasn't, doing any of this stuff. So don't be in the kitchen. Like if you want to free yourself from the kitchen, you've got to create your perfect recipe, something that can be replicated, something that your clients, your customers can follow, like structured, right? And how do you do that? This is something you can definitely do. Set a timer every day. Make yourself put it on your calendar, a 30-minute appointment. And then just this is like your research, jotting down like deep work time for you to create your signature recipe. I mean, like it's just if you ask the right questions to yourself, like you'll figure that you probably don't know what you're doing, but you're gonna know how you're doing things. And then by documenting it, um, like you can document, find the gaps, right? Like make it even more perfect. So that's where you become more aware of like what you're really doing. So document every step, and then all the ingredients that brought you or your clients, for that matter, like real results. So soon that recipe will become your business. All you need is like one working recipe. That's all you need. Seriously, like that's all you need. You don't need to create 5,000 products. You don't need to have 5,000 off. Like, you don't need to do any of that. Just one that really works, one that you will be known for. It's just super, super important. And then the third thing is that really helped me, clone yourself, right? Like, clone yourself without losing your sanity, because you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it, especially with the anxiety and the overwhelm, everything that comes to you. It's gonna really, really. That's why people are burnt out. Um, so what do I mean by cloning yourself, right? So this is where you share your recipe with others. This is where, like, first you can, create a team and teach your recipe to your team. So you have your uh you have a team who understands your vision, and they have a recipe to go with. So every time anybody's lost, they go back to the recipe. Like, if you're on vacation, if you're sailing in Mediterranean, like I do in the summertime, then you have a team, you have this, you have a recipe. So, and then, or that recipe can be shared with like a partner. Like, let's say you found someone, you're collaborating in this group somewhere else. You got this recipe, it's ready to go, and you're getting results. It's like, oh, it's really valuable. Find someone who has a complementing product, and then say, hey, I have this recipe. Let's just partner. We're not competing. I've already done this. I've already, worked on this for years. Like, this is what it is. Or, like, you can, and then the level up would be, once you do all that, sharing that recipe with, like, one to many programs. Like, you can be a speaker, you can write a book, right? You can reach thousands of people with a book. You can go speak at an event. You can create group programs. You can do many, like, sky's the limit. So all of a sudden, that same hour that you're spending, you are cloning yourself, and all you have to do is just that one recipe. So that's how I survived. And that's how I created what I call like a perfect offers, because that's how, like, everything you have is just, if you can clone yourself, that's where your business grow. That's where your, everything grows from there, right? Like, so I want you to really think about it. So I'm going to recap. First is the commit. You want to commit to one thing, like one method. Like, how are you going to do your business? What are you doing? Like, one way to build and grow your business. Commit and make that commitment to yourself. That's where you start. And once you commit, your ADHD mind is going to start creating solutions that you never thought of. Like, all those, like the manifestation, everything starts with the intention, right? So when you commit, your intention, your energy goes to the right place. So commit, that's important. Number two, create your signature recipe, something that you can repeat, teach others, just something that you can always go back to. Like, when you're sick, like, you cannot have a business that does not exist without you. There's just no way. You cannot do that, because there's only 24 hours in the day, and there's only so much you can do. Okay. So create your signature recipe. And then number three, clone yourself. Clone yourself by taking that recipe and teaching that to others. Make an impact. Help more people. Share your knowledge. Share your recipe with more people. Like, and then the whole restaurant thing, when we did that, like, one recipe, we were actually famous for it. It just, like, everybody came to that restaurant for that recipe. They still bought everything else, but because we perfected it, people would come to that one. And for you, the same thing. You want to be known for it, you want to perfect it, but perfection only happens when you repeat the right, like, when you write actions, like, on a consistent basis. Like, you have to do it right. So That all being said, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you do. On this Thursday, I am running a masterclass. Okay, this is for the ADHD female entrepreneurs. I'm gonna be teaching about like what, like, how can an ADHD female can thrive, right? And what is the biggest mistake you're making in your business, and how big names like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, and like Walt Disney, like, and then like all the entrepreneurs who we know have ADHD, how did they survive and how you can do it. So I'm going to be giving you like a lot of actionable um actual items that you can do. I have a bunch of things that are going on, and we're actually going to be playing a game in this masterclass. Yeah, like my masterclasses are not like boring. We're going to play a game. So I have this thing that I want to show you. So this is my little safe box. So what this is, it works with a combo, like a combination. So for you to have anyone to have a successful business, like you have to have like these components. And even if you get one number wrong, just like a safe, it doesn't open. That's why a lot of people give up when they do like all the things and then they don't do that last thing. So I have a combination that in this event in the masterclass we're going to be like sharing. It's a like a six number combination that's going to open this thing, and I'm going to be giving away a $2,500 worth of like a really really good gift for like anyone who attends live. So I'm going to put the link below under this live, and if you watch this later, like I want you to like just go into that link and check everything. I want you to really like just come to learn and understand like that you are not stuck. Like all you have to do is tweak a couple of things and you can really get there. Like if you're really serious about getting your business to 6, 7, 8 figures, if you're really serious about getting out of your whole thing about your like your burnout, your daily like this is gonna fix everything. If you want true freedom that gives you time, money, everything, this is where everything starts. And don't forget, just because you have ADHD does not matter. Like, and you don't have to be diagnosed, but just because you're confused, you are an entrepreneur, you're meant to be that way. There's a reason why you're that way. Don't give up. And I hope to see you on Thursday, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Please get the link below, and I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye.